So, why can I not do my own thing? So let's summarise what's happening. So you've got loads of tutorials under your belt. You've got fantastic results from them. You're feeling really pleased, thinking, I know all of this stuff now. You've read books, you've done step-by-steps, and then you try to do your own thing and it all goes wrong. It turns to mud often, and you just think, why is this happening? Why? So by the end of this video, you're going to understand why it's happening and the structured steps you can take to get to the bit you want to be at. So what happens with this is you get to a point where you've got absolutely loads of technique knowledge, often from lots of different tutors, lots of different colours, lots of different opinions. Each one of us as tutors have different views on what to use, what not to use, how to do it, and you will have grasped lots and lots of information. You won't have much on the point of selection. So out of this huge amount of techniques, what do you select for the picture that you're doing? You also won't know how to transition from following instructions. So you've got all of that instructional knowledge, but you've got to transition it now and get to a point where you know what you're going to do. And then you've got experience. So you've got a little bit of experience, but you've got a long way to go. Even I'm probably only about here. I've still got more to go as well. You're always learning, you're always building on that experience. So we're going to go through each of these sections step by step so you understand it. So we've got techniques in green. We know techniques. We've done lots of techniques, lots of step-by-steps. We know how to do wet in wet. We know how to do wet on dry. We know how to do dry brushing. We know those techniques. We've just got to use them. So it's natural now that you're going to get to that point that you want to move on. As a tutor, I never want to prevent somebody. Some people are very, very happy staying in this bit, following step-by-steps and seeing a result. But there's always people that want to move on, that want to grow with the process. They've got what they've learned and they want to put their creativity in. So this is where the next steps is. You've got this is green, you've done this bit. Okay, so here's your first big gap, selection. So when I'm doing a step-by-step tutorial or a class, I am doing all of the selection process for you. I am choosing the colours, I am choosing the way we apply the paint, when we apply the paint, how we apply the paint. I am going through that process for you. What you've got, this is a big pot of ideas, techniques. This is all from different tutors. You've got a big selection here like this. And now you've got to learn how to take from here. You can't choose them all. You physically can't. You'll end up with a muddy mess or a very overcomplicated, overdone picture. So you've now got to learn that selection process, and that's something you gain with experience. So my tip for the first tip, I'm going to go through several tips for you, so stay tuned to the end, is to select a tutorial that you really liked, that turned out well, and think, I want to apply that tutorial to a slightly different photo. So you've got, first of all of that skill set there. That skill set for that tutorial is there. I've taught, if it's one of mine, it doesn't have to be one of mine, I've taught you how to do that step by step. What I want you to do is choose a different subject, slightly different. So if it's a landscape with a nice tree in there, let's have a look, I've got some examples here. So this is one for my atmospheric skies. So for instance, we've got a nice simple landscape with a tree. It might be that you find a landscape that's similar but got different trees in there, got a slightly different sky, got some water at the bottom. So little things, baby steps. Don't try to do it all at once. Then you're going to take that big pot of ideas that tutorial that you use, then you're going to take that tutorial and think that's the basis, but I'm going to change a few bits, and it might be an odd colour. It might just be the subject that's slightly going to change, and you're going to use the same techniques. It's all about building that little bit of experience, baby steps. Don't try to do it all at once. Talk about transition now. There's probably 3 pots, probably even more pots, but I'll try and keep it simple. So you've got an element of creativity. Now this may be brimming over. There are people that are immensely creative and they can take creativity straight away into everything. And then there are people that struggle with the creativity element and it comes towards the end. So it doesn't matter where you are in that process. There is an element of creativity that's going to come in if you want to carry on. There is colour and there is composition. There is also the selection we've just talked about on the previous piece of paper. So you've got all of that to come in. So my next suggestion is to choose a tutorial that you've done before again, and I want you to do it in different colours. So I want you to choose. So for instance, my Puffin tutorial could be anything. I mean, I've got another one here, a nice landscape tutorial. So those ones, I'll link them in the description if you want to go to them at some point. If you choose those, I want you to select 3 to 5 colours that you're going to use instead. So you can have 1 or 2 the same, but you're going to choose your own colours, and that's going to bring out a little bit of your creativity. It's that second baby step. Don't try to jump to do a full picture by yourself with no guidance. You're going to think, okay, I've done a puffin before. I know the steps to do a puffin. I'm just going to change the colours and do something that I like in the colour scheme and stick those in. What I would say to you, and again, this comes with colour experience, is transparent colours make less mud than opaque colours. So if you can choose transparent, you'll know that by Googling your colour chart for your colours, and it will tell you whether it's transparent, whether it's semi-transparent, whether it's opaque. So that will give you a better idea for those colours. If you're using Cotman, most of them are transparent, so you usually get away with it. That's what I tend to use for my beginners. So that's another action for you. And you can do many of these time and time again. It's all about building your confidence. So I know what colours do what. So you'll often hear me in my tutorials saying Prussian blue or Payne's grey or phthalo blue are shooty pigments. By shooty, I mean they spread very quickly. So I wouldn't choose that on a specific cloudy sky. I would tend to choose the likes of cobalt blue or ultramarine. Ultramarine's a granulating colour, so if I want some real lovely texture in a sea, I'd put that in. All of this is learning your colours, and that comes with experience. I know how not to make mud. So over your time as a watercolourist, you will make mud many times. It is often made by overworking too many colours and using opaque colours. So as I've said earlier, stick if you can to transparents and limit your colour scheme. I also know how to not overwork something. I mean, 99% of the time, I still occasionally overwork something. But when I'm walking around a class, I'll say, stop. Stop now. That's lovely. Stop. Stop. Honestly, stop. It's a skill that takes experience. I always say to my students, if you think you're 80% done, stop. Walk away, come back and look at it. You don't need every single little bit on. Do not overwork. And I suppose the final thing with experience is that I know what my end result is going to be. So I've got a vision in my head. I've got loads of experience. I've got that vision and I know how to get to it. And when you start off on your own, you've got that bit of vision that you want, but then trying to get to it is a process that can be very hard, which is why those baby steps are so important. It's really taking gradual steps that build your confidence, build your experience. You don't want to go all in, make an absolute mess and think, I can't do this anymore. You're going to do little things, little changes that then will get you there slowly. So here's my next little activity for you, saying, are you creative? So some will say to me, no, I'm not creative. I just want to follow what you do. And that's absolutely fine as well. It's about you enjoying what you are doing. If you think, oh, I want to get a bit more creative, but I don't know how, then this is a great activity for you to do. So you're going to choose 3 colours. You're going to do a wet in wet wash, and you're going to drop those colours in wherever you want them to go. Just have a really nice fun experience. Get some table salt, sprinkle a little bit on, get some clean film, and then lay that down and scrunch it up. I'll pop a tutorial that's very similar that goes through how to make something. And what I want you to do is let that dry naturally for 10 minutes, come back and look at it and find something within there to paint. You might see a bit of a tree, you might see a bit of a landscape, you might see a bit of an animal. It's about looking and trying to find that creative side. There'll be times that your confidence is knocked. Even as a professional artist, there are times that my confidence is knocked. I'll have an off day and I'll think, oh, I'm not sure I can do this anymore. It's all part of the process. The process of learning is learning from your mistakes. So I want you to understand why you're going to feel those confidence knocks and why you need to embrace them. So this, in my head, I've got 3 categories. There's a beginner category, an improver and an advance. And you're now at that stage of you've done the beginner, you're at the top of the beginner class. And you're moving into improver. Improver means that you're going to start to improve your skills. You're going to start to hone that selection process and that transition process. And that means you've gone to the bottom of the class again. So you're going to feel a little bit more of those confidence knocks, and you just need to embrace them and just try those baby steps. So a little bit of a summary. Basically, you want to try baby steps. Try those suggestions that I've said along the way. Do as many as you like. Every time you're doing one of those, you are giving yourself a little bit of a confidence boost. That's what you need to build those skills. Little baby steps. If you don't like the result of what you've done, then step back and think about it and ask yourself why. What have you done that you don't like? And what do you think you could do to fix it next time? Sometimes even still I'll do painting 3 or 4 times. It's a process of learning. You've got to take those little steps. And you can join my Facebook group and you can ask me why. You can say, if you're already within my subscriber community and on my Facebook group, feel free. If you're doing something a little bit on your own and you think, oh, I'm not sure, pop it on the Facebook group. I'll have a look and I'll explain what I think you've done wrong. It's all part of that learning process. You need that feedback. If you can't see that yourself, it does come. What tends to happen is you're at a stage where you think, I've gone wrong and I don't know why. I don't know why it looks wrong. Then you get to a point that you think, actually, I can see that bit's not right and I know what I would do for that, but I don't understand that bit. So this is when you need somebody with experience to help you. And then my last thing to reiterate is to just not overwork things. It's so easy when you get engrossed in something to keep going or thinking, I don't like that bit. And this is when you need to think back to that tutorials that you've done, where I will often fix things whilst on screen. So things go wrong all the time, and how did Lynn fix it? So don't keep going over and going over and going over. Often the best way to fix something in watercolour is to dry it totally, then start on that process of lifting out. So don't overwork things, and always step back at 80%. And have a look at what you've done and make an assessment. So I hope you found this useful. I've tried to brain dump a lot. I couldn't get the technology bit to work, so I've gone back to old school paper. Hopefully you'll be able to read this all right. And I really hope it's useful for you. and find my Facebook group.